Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at Mr. Tirne Scithe in the Dungeon series. We'll be going through the route, Prideful, as usual, where we place Prideful, where it spawns, how to deal with it, and just what Trash's danger is, what you need to keep an eye on, the interrupts, the spells, all the good stuff from the last couple of videos. We're going to continue that, and let's get to it. This video is going to be done a little different than what you saw in the last two videos, both because I want to try to improve my movie making, and I also want to make the video more engaging when we go through the enemies, what spells they cast, all stuff like that. Just me trying to improve the content for you guys, and still give you top-notch details and tips and tricks for the entire run. The first trash we'll meet is the Drust Spite Claws. These small guys apply a debuff called Dying Breath to everybody if they die with the aura still up. This is a perfect time for Blood Elves to use your Racial to dispel, or Purge if you're a Shaman, or Purge if you're a Demon Hunter, because you can avoid a lot of damage. Next up is the Drust Harvesters. This is caster mobs. They cast Spirit Bolts. Just ignore those, interrupt them if they're cast on you and you're not a tank. Then they cast Harvest Essence. This is a channel heal that heals for 10% of their max health every second. Just interrupt that. Make sure to have an interrupt for it or a stun, because that's the dangerous one and it'll hit everybody in the party. Next up is the Drustva Soul Cleavers. They use the ability Hand of Thrust that increases their size and damage by 30%. They also afflict you with Soul Split, which is a 8-second debuff that it makes you take 20% increased damage, so they can be dangerous. They also heal whenever they have Hand of Thrust up, so stun, kite, make sure they don't heal themselves. Next up is the Tirne Villager. This guy has a throwing cone called Bewildering Pollen. Make sure to face the mob away from the group so they don't get hit by the throwing cone. He'll just cast on the tank where the tank stands, so faces back towards your party. Then he has Overgrowth, randomly targets a team from your party and channels the Overgrowth spell on them. After a 4-second channel, you will get rooted and stunned in a little acorn. Make sure to run into melee with the acorn right behind the mobs the tank is tanking. So, first of all, you don't get hit by the cleave. Second of all, you don't get hit by the frontal cone. And thirdly, the melee DPS can just switch and get you out of the root instantly. Then we have the Drust Bowbreakers. These are some big boys. They cast Bramble Burst, which is just a bursting bramble from the ground that hits you and slows you and damage you over time. Just make sure to move out of that, just sidestep it. Then they do Furious Thrashing. This is an AoE thrash ability that'll hurt the entire party. Make sure to pop a cooldown on Fortified Weeks, a personal, so you can survive the onslaught. It is a very hard hitting on Fortified higher week keys, so make sure to have a cooldown for that. Alright team, that is the first trash dealt with. The ability is gone through. Now you know what to do. Focus the Harvesters, then turn the Soul Cleavers away from your party tanks. Let's get on to the route. Right, so there's two ways to deal with the first pull. Either you pull the Drust Spite Claws to the big pack with the Harvesters and the Tirne Villager, nuke it all down, use Bloodlust, use all your cooldowns. Or you split it up, depending on affixes of the week of course, and the damage you have in your party. In this video I split them up just because we want to keep it safe. We don't want to deal with a lot of Sanguine. So we kill the Drust Claws, the Spite Claws first, and then we kill the Tirne Village party. Moving on from there is the Invisibility Skip. If you have a Demon Hunter in your party, he can imprison the rightmost Harvester. Just imprison him, and then you guys just slide right by. If you don't have one, you just use your invisibility potions here, and you just invis past this pack and go kill the Soul Cleaver and Harvester pack. Next to the pack is a gateway for the Night Fate to open. Just make your Night Fate go instantly open it. That way your tank can kite into that area if he needs to kite to avoid the Soul Cleavers to heal themselves. And also you get the buffs from the mushrooms, which is really nice. Moving on from the mushrooms, we have the Drust Bowbreakers. Just take one of them to 50%, then switch to the other one. Make sure you don't overlap the Furious Thrashing on 50% health on Fortified Weeks. So just focus one down, kill the next one, and then you kill the boss. When you kill the Bowbreaker pack, you spawn the first Prideful right before the first boss. This is perfect. The reason we get Prideful here is because we make the skip after the first pack with the Tirne Villager, and just went straight for the pack after. Killing the first boss arrives us at the maze. The maze part is a little tricky sometimes, and it switches every week. Which way you go? You go left, right, straight. It all switches. It's fairly easy. The only thing you have to do is find the unique pillar. And with unique, I mean they can have different forms. They can be a leaf or a flower. They can be full or empty. So empty, I mean a outline, just an outlined leaf or flower. Full, I mean it's full white. And they can have a ring around them or no ring around them. And the way to deal with the mace is just find the one that is unique, doesn't have anything that shares between the other three, and that's the choice. To deal with the mace throughout the mace itself, dealing with finding the right portal to take, I recommend your healers do the job, the majority of it. You guys should be able to keep fairly alive just by your own personal cooldowns and self-healing. And the healer will just wander around doing the mace and figuring out where you need to go. I recommend getting the add-on Mace Helper. I'll link it down in the description. This will allow you to plug in whatever leaf or flower you get from the pillars, so you can easily see which one it is. And also, if you're ranged, you could move to a pillar and DPS from there. Make sure healer's job very much easier. Alright guys, going through the maze you'll deal with different mobs. The first one is the Mistveil Defender. These guys have a frontal cone called Spear Flurry. Tanks just face that away from the group. Easy enough. Second one is the Mistveil Guardian. These guys channel a high AoE knockback in melee range called the Bucking Rampage. You can disorientate them, blind them, stun them, but you can't interrupt it. It's a hard CC to deal with it. Okay, so just make sure to interrupt that, get out of it if you're melee, because it's going to deal a lot of damage on higher keys in the fortified weeks. The third mob we meet in the maze is the Mistveil Shaper. These guys cast Bramblethorn Coat. This is very annoying. It's a shield, and if you damage it and it goes off, it procs a root on you. And if you get rooted in a Bucking Rampage, you're gonna die. So make sure to interrupt that. You can also dispel it if it goes off before you destroy the shield and trigger the root. So that's good to know. Next up is the Mistveil Stalker. These are small Vulpins who cast Mistveil Bite. This is a high damage ability and it leaves a high damage dot on you. So pop a cooldown if you get targeted. Make sure to kill these fast. Stun them before they can cast the Mistveil Bite. So the next one is the Mistveil Stingers. This is a forest dungeon, so you cannot avoid those bugs. And this bug injects you guys with Anima Injection. And this is a dot that inflicts nature damage over 6 seconds. If this is not dispelled, it will trigger a detonation, causing everybody to take damage within 8 yards. So kill the Stingers too. I mean, there's a lot to kill. Stingers, Vulpin, most annoying ones. Kill those fast, deal with the rest. Make sure to interrupt. Lastly, in the maze we have the Mistveil Tenders. These guys heal. Yeah, Nourish of the Forest spell, interrupt that. It's an AoE hot on all the allies of the Tenders. It'll heal them for 3% of their max health every second. So if you don't interrupt it, you can use your Blood Elf ratio. Yeah, so interrupt this. It's very annoying. They'll heal to full health if you don't. So Inspiring Weeks, you wanna CC the Inspired mob, definitely on packs with these in them. At the end of the maze, there will always be a mini-boss, right? They could be the Mistveil Gorge Gullet, the Mistveil Matriarch, or the Mistveil Night Blossom. So the Gorge Gullet got a crushing leap and swings green swirlies around the place, alright? Just avoid it, very easy. The mini-bosses are not that hard. The only annoying one is the Matriarch. He has Radiant Breath. It's a frontal cone, so move, you know, don't stand in that. And then she drops a Radiant Pull, which heals her if she stands in it, so move out of that. The group can stand in it if you want to, but don't stand in it if you get the frontal cone where it is. That's pretty much it for the maze team. I'm not gonna give you a specific route and show you the pulls like I do them, and we did in the last couple of videos, because the maze changes a lot. So all I really want to do with the maze mobs is just to tell you guys which mobs does what, and which one you should probably focus your interrupts around or CCs around. Like, you want to kill the Mistveil Stalkers and the Bucks, the Flying Stingers first, and then you want to CC the Tenders always. The rest is pretty much just avoidable damage you can step out of or don't really have to pay attention to. So just make sure to get those interrupts in, and you should be fine. So yeah, that's all. Let's move on to the post-maze ads. First off, we have the Spinemaw Staghorn. These are the Alpha Chungus. You need 2 players to interrupt their casts. First off, they cast the Stimulate Resistance, big annoying Absorb Shield. Just make sure to interrupt it. It can't be dispelled if it goes off. Blood Elves, Pog. Then they also cast Stimulate Regeneration, right? It's a big heal. It's a channel, so 2 DPS just chain or rotate interrupts on these bad boys. And we have this Spinemore Acid Gauntlet. Spitty boys. These guys will lob a nasty dot of random nature damage at enemies. It'll inflict damage over time. Just be aware. Use a cooldown if you get too many of them on you. Use personal. Help your healer out. Can be stunned or hard CC'd, but cannot be interrupted. Then we have the Spinemore Gorger. These fuckers, right? These are nightmare fuel. These guys will lob a spit of a green blob randomly out in the room, right? If you stand on it, it'll just explode you away and push you off the platforms. It's a fucking nightmare dealing with these assholes. So just make sure to move. Make sure to always keep an eye on your where your character is standing. And if an acid globule is about to be spit out, okay? Just you stun these, kill him. It's so annoying. Then we have these Spineball Lava. These guys explode on death. There's the small ones that litter the big packs. Just kill them. You can sidestep them a little bit to avoid the explosion, but other than that, don't really do much. Last ones are the Spineball Reavers. These are the patrols that fly around. Annoying ones, they jump a lot and afflict you with dots. So if everybody just stacks in one big group, first of all, they don't jump from your DPS. Second of all, you can just CC them, just nuke them down immediately. They're so annoying. So yeah, ranged healers, move into your tank. All right, that's the trash, guys. So there's different ways to do the Stackhorn part of the dungeon before the last boss. It all depends on what your percentage is after the mace. Usually it's around 58 here, so you kill these first 3 mobs and then you spawn Prideful and then you can do Mega Balls, right? Sometimes a little more or a little less, so you just, until you spawn that Prideful at 60%, you just take it easy around here. After that you can just go ham until the 80% mark. So I'll go through a couple of pulls here. The first one will be a slow one. We take care of the Stackhorn first. Just to kill it so he can't heal or shield his allies. Then we take the rest on to the next pack. As long as we don't have a Stackhorn, we can keep pulling new Stackhorns. Don't have 2 Stackhorns on the same side, just to be sure that you guys don't overlap your interrupts or miss an interrupt, because that can be really painful. And then you can start over, and that's annoying. So as long as you don't have a Stackhorn, pull a pack with a Stackhorn. Always kill the Stackhorn first. That way you can actually keep chain pulling if you can rotate your stuns and slows like decently in between yourself in the group. If not, I recommend pulling 1 to 2 groups, 2 to 3. If there's no Stackhorns, you can pull 3 groups. When we hit the 80% mark and we spawn the 4th Prideful, you kill that. You use this buff to just eradicate the rest of the trash, right? As you see here, I'll be pulling all the way to the last boss with the Prideful, just making sure to take care of dangerous mobs. It's all playing around how you feel you're comfortable tanking. If you feel comfortable with your party's damage or your healing, it's very simple, this last area. It's just make sure to time Pridefuls, make sure to kill the Stackhorns. That makes the rest of the pack very easy. Sometimes we don't always have the percentage to spawn Prideful at the end of this area, so we have to go past the boss into the second area on the right side and just pull a single pack to spawn Prideful. All depends on your percentage. That's the only real gritty needy stuff here before the last boss, but this is pretty much it, team. That's the Mr. Tirne Scithe dungeon gun. It's very streamlined. It's way more streamlined than Spice of Ascension. Like, you just follow the maze half the time. Just pull the whole packs, kill the packs, rotate your cooldowns in the maze. That's really the best tip I can give you guys. Just make sure you don't all pop cooldowns at the same pack. So that way your overall speed is going to be faster. Make sure to get the interrupts right. Avoid frontal cones, stuff like that. It's a really simple dungeon. It's one of the easier ones. Definitely, probably the easiest ones this season or this expansion. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked the tutorial, or whatever you call it, run through of the dungeon. It's just a few good skips here and there, and some interrupts, and Mr. Scythe pretty much done. One of the easier Keystone Master keys to get. And I'll hope to see you in the next one. Follow Twitch, subscribe YouTube, come and say hi on stream. We stream every weekday from 10 a.m. to around 2 or 3 p.m. Usually 2. But yeah, come and do some dungeons, let's do some raids, stuff like that. Ask me any questions, and like the video if you liked it, if it gave you some kind of insight. This is just my 2 cents to help you guys get the Keystone Master before next season, and then to get it again next season. So we'll see if there's going to be any changes due to Prideful disappearing. I'm very excited to see what they bring instead of Prideful, but we'll know when that's out. So